I guess you have a legal degree, but you're a DJ now.
It's time to take A Therapeutic Dose, a prescription-strength reality TV podcast that explores the intersection of reality TV and therapy. Possible side effects may include entertainment, strong emotional reactions, and/or laughter. Here are your hosts, Ramona Ramirez and Margie McGee.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Therapeutic Dose, where we meet at the intersection of reality TV and therapy. I am Margie McGee, and with me, as always, is my dear friend and co-host.
Hi, I'm Ramona Ramirez Higgins. How's it going?
Good. How are you? I'm now fixated on, we were chit-chatting before we started recording, and you mentioned you'd done some medicine this weekend,
Yes.
and that the Housewives entered the chat.
Yes, always.
Can you tell me
single
about
time.
that?
I'd be
You
happy
buried
to.
the lead.
Yeah, over the weekend, every once in a while, we have a day where we are able to do psychedelic medicine together in a therapeutic setting. And we had one of those weekends. And even though it was quite a few days ago, I still feel very much coming out of that experience. It was profound, as it always is. And I was what one of my therapists described it as. He's like, Ramona, you've been disorganized. You were disorganized, meaning my thought patterns that are that the thought patterns I have that don't serve me, they were shaken up, and that was good. But my point is that we told our therapists, I said, every single time Josh and I sit down to watch a Housewives show, at least one time per episode, I'm like, oh my God, am I like that? Oh my God, am I like that? Oh my God, am I like her? Oh God, am I like that? Because it is a fear of mine. It is a fear of mine would be to be like Lisa Barlow. That would be bad news, is if Josh was like, sometimes you do act like Kyle. Oh my God. I would just run screaming from the house. But you know, that's how I can see myself sometimes. If I'm not having a day where I'm feeling great about myself, I can look at these people and be like, you do that, you self-centered piece of shit. You're selfish and you don't ask people how they're doing. And you just sit there and you talk about your own misery instead of, asking other people how they are, because I'm scared. This is a cautionary tale. It's a cautionary tale. And I don't want to be like any of those people that were on that soundstage on the Salt Lake City reunion part 2 last night. Like, I don't. But anyway, the good news is that Josh's answer is never, yes, you are like them. But,
Is that what came up in the medicine session? Is you asking, am I like that?
Well, I think I was just kind of like, I talk a lot about, because here's the thing, like, I don't think of myself as being selfish or self-centered, except for when I am having one of those days where I am just like, I am such a piece of shit. I can't do this. I'm a terrible mom. I'm a terrible friend. I'm a terrible daughter. I'm a terrible wife. This is why. Here's the evidence. And I can just have one of those days where those thoughts are going through my head. And I don't want to be a self-obsessed person. Even if what I'm doing is obsessing about what a piece of shit I am, or how I'm doing it wrong, or what I'm getting wrong, or what I could be doing better, or if you had just done blah, 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 then you might be acceptable. Yeah, I'm so mean to myself. I have had experiences of being very mean to myself in my own head, So just being in any kind of, just being in the same corner of the store as any of those women, with my behavior. Like, who cares how the self-centeredness is manifesting? It's like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to be there. And I also have to give myself grace that I'm a human, and we all have these traits at some time or another. No doubt some of these housewives that we talk about have self-hatred on the same level that I do. It just manifests in a different way. They might not say, like, I'm experiencing self-hatred today. This is how I'm beating myself up.
Well, often, don't they say that, like, self-centeredness, like, hating yourself is the same as exalting yourself? It's just like, I'm the piece of shit that the world revolves around, because everyone's
right.
so concerned with how shitty I am, or so unconcerned with how shitty I am. Like, I'm so special in one way or the other.
Yeah.
I guess my question is, did you emerge from the medicine with some angle on this that felt new or helpful or
Oh my God, always. Every single time, the
what?
entire time.
What was
Yes.
it? Share if you can, or is it too personal or kind of abstract?
It's just little things are becoming very concepts that I have been intimately familiar with for over half of my life, like accepting what is versus what isn't. Like that is one of the big things that came out of Saturday. Like I fight things. I don't like it. I fight it. I was rear-ended and the guy drove away. Well, that sucks. I'm not going to accept that. So then what happens? I'm miserable. And every time the insurance company reaches out to me to see what's going on, I'm like, I have to deal with this. Fuck that guy. And it's like, Ramona, you were rear-ended and the dude drove away and it sucks and you have to deal with it. And you can either just deal with it or you can fight it because it's not fair and it shouldn't have happened that way and you wouldn't have done that. And why did this happen to you? And you're going to be miserable. And I was in that space, you know? Oh, yeah. Did I talk about that? I got rear-ended over the day after Christmas. I don't know if I talked about that after we got back from our break, but yeah.
You mean on the podcast?
Yeah. And it's not that big of a deal, but yeah, like, you know, we're fine. We got rear-ended. The guy drove away. It sucked. Leo was scared. I was just annoyed because I knew the shit I was going to have to take care of. And I already feel like taking care of things in my regular life is a barrier, mostly because of my ADHD, perimenopause, brain fog. Looking at the news too much will take me the fuck out and then I can't focus on anything. So, yeah. But basically, I was told that I am not like a housewife.
That is so affirming. I hope you really received that.
Yes, I absolutely did.
Okay, good.
I did receive it. And there's also, I'm not a better person because of what I'm doing than what those people are doing. Like, I do feel like I'm like, are you sure I'm not? Are you sure I'm not? It's like people probably would want to be around me more, hopefully, than they would want to be around someone like Lisa Barlow or whoever. I don't know. Am I making any sense at all?
Yeah. I'm sorry I was like holding your feet to the fire. I was just so
No, it's
curious
okay.
how these things like literally in a tangible, practical way cross over because the whole thesis of this podcast
I
is
was talking about my worst fear is being like one of them. It's my worst fear.
Mhm.
Of just being this like someone that just sucks the air out of the room with their neuroses and that never sees what they're doing, that just sits there and argues and never says sorry or is a full fucking hip, dude. A full fucking hip. But no, I was told that I am not. I did believe them, but cautionary tale, man, if I don't keep working, like that's what happens. It's just that mine happens to look like the fact that I'm like, I'm a shitty mom because I can't meal plan and we don't always sit down to eat at the dining room table, you know? Like I
Yes.
can really go out on a fucking island and hate myself about that for about a year,
Oh yeah.
if you let me, you know?
Oh my God. Yeah, my brain can get so creative. It can take something like really small or something like really global and send me to the island to ruminate, you know?
Exactly.
It's just like no.
Yeah. And I don't want that. I don't want that. So that is why I do my therapy with these medicine allies that are mysterious and smart and know exactly what I need. Yeah. But
I
yeah.
mean, isn't that like one of the signals of like recovery? Is that like you fear pain less and desire humility more, you
Oh,
know?
yeah.
Because like so much of addiction of any kind is even ruminating is just
Yep.
running away from pain. Because then I don't have to
Yes.
be in immediate pain if I'm on my island ruminating about how, my lower teeth are uneven. I don't fucking know. Like I can anything. I can be like, you're a disgusting troll.
Yep.
And I don't even know if they are, I'll be honest. But I caught a glimpse of them once and I was like, are they imperfect? And then I went to the island and sat around and went like, well, you got that lower retainer, the wire lower retainer removed. And like, I just went to,
Yep.
why? I spent so much time there, but I must have been, something else in my life must have felt painful. And so I was just like, you know what? I'm going to go where it's familiar and gently hate myself for 20 to 45 minutes and then try to re enter my life.
Yep.
And that
Exactly.
I'm with you. I'm at the stage of life where I'm so bored of spending 20 to 45 minutes on that island. I want that island condemned and sunk, and I'm done with it. And it served its purpose, but like it is so boring over there now. I've thought all the thoughts I could ever need to think over there.
Yeah.
I've had them all, and they all lead to the same boring place, which just leads me right back to the life that I tried to escape by sitting on that island.
Yep. Yep. That island is not, it's not a nice place. It's
No,
not a
it's
nice
not
place.
fucking Turks and Caicos.
Uh-uh.
It presents that way, but then once you get there, like the sand is too hot. There's like nothing you want on the menu. It's all gross. Anyways,
Yeah, it's not good. Sandflies. Yeah,
yeah.
that was also brought up in our session, which is that allure of like you stay in the self-hatred because it's so comfortable, but it is a distraction from something else. Holy shit.
Well,
How
and
many times
it's
have I heard that? But for some reason it's stuck in on
But I
Saturday.
think people talk about 12-step programs being like a cult, and obviously we'll touch on cults at some point in this recap here. But I do really think that for someone like me, I need that brain pathway cut for me over the course of decades to finally hear, like I literally heard for the first time, and I've been in 12-step rooms for 25 years. I was in some meeting where they were reading literature, and the line was, pain is the price of admission to a new life. So, like, you're promised a life beyond your wildest dreams, but it is painstaking to get there. And I was like, oh, so every time I think something's the matter because I don't feel great after I do step work or self-care or whatever the fuck I'm supposed to do. It's like, that's the price of admission. I'm trying to change my life. I'm trying not to go back to the island. It's like having whatever, it's like addiction. It's like having a craving to go to that island and slowly making the decision imperfectly a day at a time to not go over there, even though I know exactly where the sandflies bite me and how long it takes those bites to heal. Anyways, who gives a shit? I'm
I
getting
get it
lost in the
though.
sauce.
I get it. I get it. I'm so envious and in awe of my husband because there have been times when he's heard something once, like a concept that would, I'd be like writing down and like rereading and have to put a Post-it note. And he hears it once and he's just like, yeah, I get that. He can embody it, shift his perspective. Whereas I can hear things for, again, like I've been hearing some shit since I was 16, for sure, since I was in my 20s. And now I'm 53 and I'm hearing things and I'm like, oh, now I get this. And it's taken medicine work, whatever. It took what it took. I'm neurodivergent. I also really am an Olympic gold medal self-hater. And so when your neural pathways, when your ways of thinking are real habitual, like to the point where you don't have to, like, it's just like where you go every day without thinking about it, it might take me a beat. I also talked about what you and I have been talking about more often than not lately on this podcast is stuck with this bitch called hope. Like without hope, there's nothing, dude. I mean, there is stuff, but my point is that for me, I am having an experience of becoming more of the person that I have wanted to be for so long, the mom, the wife, the friend, the daughter, the community member, with my medicine allies, my medicine teachers, my medicine guides.
I also like the concept that, character defects are removed in the order they stop serving us. So it's like, what if the timing is just exactly right? What if everything that I think is so wrong has been vital to my survival and success or like whatever? What if all of
It's
the,
true.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'll die and find out I was all wrong when I get to that all knowing place and get to figure it all out. But
And they all started as a way to cope and make me feel safe.
mhm.
All of our, call them what you will, your defects, your the things about yourself that you want to change, the tapes that you have, like they all served a purpose. Unfortunately, when we're young, our brains don't know how to organize things in a very sophisticated way. And the shitty thing is that when you're raised in a dysfunctional home or experience trauma at a very, very young age, you're going to make it that it was your fault because you can't conceive of it being somebody else's because your brain doesn't know what it could do with that. Because that person that's tasked to take care of you, they can't be wrong. Because what would that mean? So you are, okay, even though you're not, you're purely innocent and not guilty of anything. But I perversed it. I took it too far. Those voices didn't serve me for a long time. But yes, they are being removed. I am removing them. I am working to remove them. And everything I've been working on in therapy has been, since I started doing psychedelic therapy work, 3.5 years ago, almost 3.5 years ago. So yeah, no wonder the last 3.5 years have been uncomfortable. Whatevs, I'll take it. Not going to trade it. Love it.
No,
Bring it on.
it's growth.
Do more.
It's growth.
So bring on the cactus, dude. I'm ready. I'm ready for the fucking peyote, the San Pedro, the ayahuasca. Shit I never thought I would do. Now I'm just like, man, let's see. Let's see. What else can I disorganize? Yeah. I'm a little spacey still too, so apologies.
No apologies.
Since we last met, I'm sure we've all seen the news that Kyle Cook and Amanda Batula announced their separation. I don't think they use the word divorce, but it doesn't sound like there's reconciliation on the table. I feel sad for her, and I also feel excited for her, and I feel really relieved. Do I have a right to feel any of these things? I don't know this person personally at all, but just in a general way, seeing how Kyle is generally, I'm very happy for Amanda.
Well, yeah, and happy for both of them. Like I texted you, I felt the same relief I felt when my parents officially announced they were going to divorce. I was like, good. Not that I want anyone to go through a divorce trauma, but I was like, guys, this isn't working, and it's so painful to pretend like it's going to heal. It's not going to heal. My feeling was one of like relief and then sadness for both of them. Like I do believe they loved each other, and I do believe they're not a good match to bring out the best in each other, which is, as my mom says, that's what a relationship is supposed to do. You're supposed to bring out the best in each other. And
Yeah.
we've watched season after season since the day they met of them making each other miserable, misunderstanding each other, being impatient. Kyle's impatience with Amanda's like mental health stuff. But again, what an advertisement for taking care of your mental health. She got on antidepressants. She got a better sense of who she is and what she wants. And she's making a very challenging decision to leave a marriage. I just remember the Summer House season before their wedding when all of the girls sat Amanda down and they were like, hey, dude, please don't do this. We don't think it's going to work. And she was like, it's fine. I've already said yes. Let's fucking go,
God.
So, but I mean, you can't spare anyone from that. Like, I don't think
No.
she would have found her way to antidepressants and whatever this exciting new chapter is going to be for her once she's past the grief of the loss of this marriage and the promise of what that she'd wanted that to be.
Yeah. And then, relevant to the franchise we're talking about right now, the Bravo Docket, which is another Bravo podcast hosted by two lawyers who break down the myriad lawsuits and legal troubles of all the Bravo celebrities. They released an episode about Britney and her ex-husband. He was the one that caused all the issues between Britney and her children. They released that episode, and I have not listened to it yet. I don't know if I'll be able to stomach it. We'll see. It's not going anywhere. I'll listen to it when I'm called to. But the reason why I wanted to mention it is because when I was reading about what they talked about on it, and what Brittany went through, it's context. It's really relevant context. And she's so frustrating. Brittany is so frustrating. And it sounds like the stuff that she endured, that she suffered. She was victimized by this terrorist under her roof. It just lends context. It's fucking complicated being a human, dude. It's complicated. And I can sit here and say I would never do what she did, and I haven't done what she's done, especially in regards to her children. And I don't know everything. I don't know everything. Just because she went through horrible things doesn't mean that I understand her choice to be with Jared. My knee jerk is to take Olivia's side in all of these things, but there's always more. There's always more that we don't know. So I'm just offering that in case anyone's interested to listen to more about Brittany. You can do so on the Bravo docket.
Yeah. Honestly, this part of the reunion, I have had my fill of Brittany. Yeah. And I do have empathy from where she comes from and how that shaped her. But I don't know if she needs to be a housewife, man. There was this like groundswell of like, give her a snowflake. Like during BravoCon, everybody was like, she's what a season. Oh my God. And then this reunion, I'm just like, oh my God, stop.
Yeah.
Quit it. But
she really made me sad when she left. All I saw was just a child in a grown-up's body leaving a stage, using very childish language.
And even her posture and the way she stomped off and turned around and
yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
Oh my God.
To me, that was just unbridled, just uncut trauma right there.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Shall we
Bless
get
you,
into
change
it?
me. Yeah, let's do it. So we're talking about the second installment of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 6, Reunion Part 2. We pick up where Angie's got her scroll. Oh, Angie. I get so uncomfortable seeing people try hard. And the scroll, and it was on like, the distressed papyrus. Bruh.
She's just upping the reunion game. We've gone from folders, binders, poster boards, and now she's like, here's a scroll. And I did think the information on the scroll revealed that Lisa Barlow's phone number is attached to the Twitter account that has been trolling Angie for years. And the account is called Candace Story. And I believe it. I believe that Lisa has created this account. I believe that she's posted all this crap. And I believe they traced it back to her phone number. And I'm not surprised. I don't really care. And I don't know what to say. I was like, cool Murder, She Wrote episode. But like, I don't fucking really care. Because like Angie told us how she figured it out, that Candace Story watched something that Angie had posted online about Electra's birthday, but she noticed that Lisa Barlow had not watched it. But Lisa Barlow contacted her to say happy birthday, Electra. So Candace, and I was like, great. We did the Matlock piecing together of the facts, and I fully believe Lisa Barlow has a troll account. And at this point, I'm Andy Cohen. Everyone starts arguing, and I'm ready to storm off the stage and just be like, stop it. I'm done. Quit it.
It was funny when he starts walking off and she just puts her arm up like, see what you guys did? I was all, your mouth just stopped working like 3 seconds ago. And you are part of why he's walking off the stage, ma'am.
Every last one of them just screaming, you're crazy. It wasn't my number. You're crazy. I was just like, oh my God.
Everything I had about our reunion.
And Andy went through those phases of like, he tried to get control like a normal adult. Then he started screaming like, stop. Then he just went dead inside and then fully dissociated and then just stood up and left. And I was like, I recognize those stages of acceptance like you were talking about. Like at a certain point, it's like, oh, it's not going to stop. And nothing I scream or do is going to change this. And so off I go.
Someone mentioned something about Red Rocks and Rolling Thunder, who is someone that Meredith was dating when she and Seth were separated. I don't remember hearing about Red Rocks or Rolling Thunder. Is Rolling Thunder a man? Does he go by the name Rolling Thunder?
His name is Rolling Thunderfuck.
Rolling Thunderfuck.
Yes. I loved this part.
Go get it, Meredith.
100%. Like Lisa was trying to shift the conversation off of herself as being the source, as everyone calls it, the leak to the press. of all this defamatory information about the Housewives. Lisa denies nothing, but she just changes the subject to, do you want to talk about what you said on the Red Rocks and the pictures you have on your phone? And Heather just goes, what, Rolling Thunderfuck? You want to go there? Everyone on this couch knows who Rolling Thunderfuck is. And I was like, what? Everyone on the couch does, but on my couch, I have no idea who the fuck Thunderfuck is. And apparently it's someone Meredith dated while she and Seth were separated. And she's like, it's a bad look on all of them, not on me, Meredith says. And I'm like, his name is Rolling Thunderfuck. Like, it's a weird look at best. And also, if it wasn't a bad look, you would have led with it. This reunion is so out of control and off the rails. It's from scroll to Rolling Thunderfuck, and we're 4 minutes in. And I was like, what is happening? And I want off this ride, I think. I feel insane. They make me feel insane.
They did. They did. So thankfully they break for lunch and we are treated to footage of respective camps in their respective dressing rooms, bad weather or eating their lunch without covering their dresses. And that stressed me out so bad. I'm like, okay, fine. You're going to take a bite of that bowl and a Brussels sprout that's been dipped in the tahini lemon dressing is going to fall on your dress and it's going to leave a little oily spot. That's what would happen to me. I would never eat in my reunion dress unless I was like doing some sort of gymnastic, like bent. I mean, I would have to do something really extreme.
I mean, Heather's dress is basically a tablecloth. So, you know. But yeah, and they said that she's like, they were eating sweet potatoes. I was like, oh God, oil stains orange. Oh Lord.
Heather repeats twice that Meredith said nothing at Lisa's defense in the first half of the reunion or before they broke for lunch. Then we see another camp where Angie is telling Bronwyn and Mary that Lisa's being strange today. And I'm like, in my opinion, Lisa's just being Lisa. Lisa's being full Lisa Barlow. Lisa's just Lisa-ing, you know? This is the Lisa we've seen all 6 seasons.
I felt the same way until we next go to Lisa and Meredith. And Meredith says that Lisa's doing a good job so far. And Lisa just goes, which part?
That was
like
so
basically
wild.
Like, which part am I doing right or well? And I was like, oh my God. It's so clear they've scripted their whole approach to this reunion. And it makes me so disinterested in the reunion. And then they sort of prepare themselves for the inevitable conversation about the airplane incident. And they're like, well, we just have to stick to our story, stick to the facts. Well, okay. I think you both made up your own facts. Yes. And you're trying to tell the cameras that those facts are the truth. And then Meredith pulls this like weird mean girl thing that did not land. She goes, why do you think they're so obsessed with us? It's weird and creepy. The most fraudulent shit I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, nothing of what you said made sense or is attached to this moment in time. And then Lisa's like, yeah, we'll bring clarity and levity to this situation. I was like, what are you guys fucking talking about?
Yeah.
I don't understand. Don't make me think this hard on a lunch break, for Christ's sake. God.
So they come back from break. Britt comments that the Greek food on the table is so fun. I can't stand it. We'd be like, oh my God, that's fun. Why even say anything? I don't know. It's not very nice of me.
No, Brittany's just ridiculous. And then Meredith, who's spent this whole season trying to convince us she's not on drugs, appears to have like had cactus for lunch because she's just staring still and like really pensively looking at the plate. And she's like, is the cheese real? I can't tell if it's real or plastic. Like she really was having one of those moments where it was the most important, fascinating thing in the world that was happening with this cheese. And Lisa's like, I think it was sprayed. And I was just like, oh my God, ladies, it was the most honest I think I've seen either of them, which is why I liked the moment. But then I was like, what is going on with you guys? Where Meredith finds absolute stillness and truth.
And curiosity.
In this moment of looking at real or fake or sprayed cheese. Anyways.
Full on. That is... It's so true. Because I'm like, Lisa would know if the fake food was sprayed or if the cheese was sprayed. She would know. I mean, she does work on experiential accelerations. Her thing is all about a presentation. So I could totally buy that she would know food stylist tricks. Meredith she was so curious about that cheese wheel. the cheese wheel. That's where she chose to put her focus. Good. She's capable of it.
Yeah.
Start somewhere. Then we start in on Mary's package when they get back from lunch, and Andy says that the M for Mary also stands for mediator, and we roll tape of her trying to reason with the women throughout the season and over the years. We see her speaking about Robert Jr. to her congregate mates, the people in the congregation.
Congregation. Hmm.
Yes, thank you. And speaking with Robert Jr. regarding his drug use. And Andy tells Mary he loved hearing her preach. Mary is crying because of Robert Jr. You know, he's currently incarcerated for violating the protective order his estranged wife and family have against him. She explains why. You and I talked about this in the podcast after the arrest happened. I think that was in, September or October. She said that the most recent time that he went to his estranged wife's house, he was tased. She neglected to say that he was banging on the door of the house, banging on the car.
No, she was pretty honest about it. She said he went over multiple times. They'd filed a restraining order, and she said he was suffering from deluded thinking because
Yes.
he convinced himself that his ex-wife needed him to come over and rescue her, and she said that was delusional. And ultimately, they called the police because they had filed a restraining order. And I thought she was pretty straightforward about this. I felt for her. I have a family member who went to prison and was turned in by a family member. And like, it's really painful when you know the right thing to do and it's going to cause, in the moment, terrible pain to someone you adore. And she said, while she's so sad her kid is suffering in his addiction, she's relieved that he's somewhere safe and he's sober and he's alive, because he's on such a road that, anyways, I've talked about it a bunch. I worry for him. I think about him sometimes, and I can't imagine what it's like. I can't imagine what it's like. Can't imagine what it's like.
I can't imagine what it's like either. And may I never know. I never want to know. I never want to know. Mary shares that she has not gone to jail to visit him. You know, she said that would be weird. That's weird. The thought of going to visit her son in jail. And my gut says, like, my knee-jerk reaction is, how could you not? But at the same time, like, I can't imagine. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't ever want to have to think about that.
And she said apparently it's not a visit, a face-to-face visit. It's through the glass, and like, I don't know. It just seems it's all bad options. Not seeing him is a bad option. Seeing him through glass is a bad option. But she does say they talk daily on the phone, and that she's basically just telling him about this situation. She says, I'm basically just preaching to him, and that if God is allowing this, then it is for your good. This will help you change, and you got to change. And Andy just asks, is it your hope that he'll be scared straight? And Mary goes, yes, of course. And I was like, well, good for you. Good for you for going head on. I don't know if scared straight works for addiction, but I can imagine the sense of relief that he's someplace and accounted for on a daily basis after spinning out pretty significantly.
So Andy asks where Robert Sr. is in all of this. He hasn't visited Robert Jr. yet, but he does send Robert Jr. books. And Mary says, maybe I'll send him Heather's book. And Heather says that there is a chapter about her in it that he might like, but Mary hasn't read it. Andy asks, have you read the Heather's book? And she says no. So Andy tells her that he was sorry to hear about her mom's passing, and does she have regrets about not making amends before she passed? And Mary said no. They'd been estranged for 20-something years, and she doesn't even know what it's like to have a mom. Wow. Mary's got a lot going on. I feel frightened of even trying to imagine all of it. That sounds like a place I don't want to go in my mind.
Yeah, but there was something I appreciated about her answer to that question. There was peace in it. You know, when he said, are you sad you didn't make amends before she passed? And she was just like, no. It's sometimes there are people in your life that it's over before they pass. I don't know. I don't know what went on between the two of them, but it did not sound healthy. And it seems like the most peaceful way for both of them to exist was not in one another's lives.
Yeah. I think I've either blanked out on or like purposely forgotten what I watched in the documentary. None of it's good. as the ladies say, when Andy brings up the documentary, they're like, there weren't any bombshells. I mean, to me, it didn't feel bombshelly. It just felt like everything was fleshed out and it wasn't good. It was not good at all. And it did not paint her in a favorable light. And I have a really hard time talking about her because I'm not sure why she has a platform. It's all very messy. Let's just say it like that. Like, it's messy. It's so messy.
It is, but everything's messy. And I feel like the platform at this point is of service to parents with children who are suffering from addiction or kids who are in addiction. And
I hear
like,
what you're saying. I'm not sure. I'm not sure
yeah,
yet. I'm really not. I'm really not sure yet. If you listen to some of the people that were victimized by Mary, I don't feel clear enough on the situation to talk about it. But remember when she talked to Whitney about someone in her congregation, the child died in a car accident. I won't use it the words that she used it because she was extremely callous about it.
yes. And she told that story in front of Whitney's child,
Right,
which was
exactly.
like, oh, Lord.
So you hear the family members of this young person that was killed in a car accident. You hear the family side and their experience with what happened and Mary. And that's, that's what gives me pause on talking about her at all,
Yeah, no, I am not coming from a place where I'm informed about all of this. And obviously it's so fucked up because I think the estrangement happened due to like succession stuff within the
It
church.
did.
Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's all so fucked up and crazy, but
In that
um,
regards, that's why I did not get a sense of peace from Mary. But I could be projecting. I didn't get peace from her when she talked about not making amends with her estranged mom. I feel, and I could be completely whack right now with what I'm about to say, I feel like someone that was really close with God, like in a way that is truly spiritual and clean. I feel like there would be sadness. There would be something about not making amends with your family. I don't know, man. I cannot pretend to even understand. I cannot pretend to understand her brand of dysfunction. I can only understand my brand and project. But in regard to the documentary, Andy brings it up, the docuseries, and Mary says it did hurt her to see that it was coming out, but she's been through a lot, but she's tough, and she added it to the pile of the other hurts in her life. And I thought that was really like, oh God, she is not well. I was so uncomfortable watching her victimhood when she said that. It sounded like there's a lot of work to be done. It's not my business when or if she does that.
I guess I'm in a headspace. Like, I definitely don't appreciate. Like, I remember hearing when that tape was released of her chastising her congregation for not giving her enough for her birthday. I get that. But like you said, things are messy. And I think I'm just so fixated on her son.
But I love that you can see that. I love that you can see that, though.
I just see in her like the same pain I've seen. I don't know if anything else matters to her right now, and I don't think that's right, or I'm not condoning that. I'm just, like you said, I don't ever want to have to be in her shoes, but I can imagine if I was and someone I loved was in jail and suffering from addiction and on a really hard path. Even when he gets out, there's so much road ahead. I don't know if I'd have the bandwidth to like think about anything else. Like, I don't know.
That's
I don't
really
know.
fair. I get that. I get that.
But it doesn't take away,
It's a big old fucking mess, dude.
But I did think there was something to her saying that Utah, a lot of what was said in that documentary may have to do with Utah being unfamiliar with Pentecostal church traditions and with Black churches in general. And I
Fully
think
could see
that is
that.
probably a fair statement about Utah. There's probably some, what is it? Contempt prior to investigation kind of
Sure,
shit going on.
absolutely.
Just like, that's different. No.
I did find it interesting. I just found it interesting. I wasn't sure what to make of it, but I did find it interesting that the majority of her castmates up there were like, this is all old news. There were no bombshells in that. Like, they were just like, and they're closer. They live there. They read the news. I don't live there. I watch this show once a week, once a year for a few
Yeah.
months.
And that was interesting, since especially because Lisa and Whitney were the ones who originally brought this cult idea to air last season, wasn't
Mm-hmm.
it? Or was it longer ago than that?
Yeah, it's been longer than that. Yeah. Yeah. Mary and Brittany have a little bit of a exchange. Mary says that she didn't care for Brittany saying she's unchristlike. Brittany apologized and says, no, it wasn't Christ-like for me to say this in the first place. Mary doesn't really accept her apology. She kind of shrugs around it and says, I'll never like you. I'm never
I
going to like
missed
you.
that. Was that like in the Peacock Extended
It was in the
version?
Peacock Extended.
Oh.
Yes. That's what I took notes on. Yes.
Gotcha,
yes.
gotcha. Okay.
Brittany doubles down, though, and, she asks Mary, like, do you ever feel bad for being mean to me? And Brittany says that Mary is just being mean to her out of the blue, which I don't believe in a minute. But I also think that Brittany is that kind of person. I think we all know them from high school or junior high. You're like, why are you doing this to yourself? Why are you walking into the lion's den? Like, everyone makes fun of you, and yet you're going back for more. Like, why are you doing this, Brittany? And I think it's a choice. And I also think it is that she's just very Arrested Development. Whoa, Brittany is not a pleasure to watch. Like, Barlow is so fascinating. If I'm in a bad mood, though, I hate her and I fucking hate her and I'm frustrated and I'm impatient with her. If I watch her today and like last night, she fascinates me. I'm repelled, but I'm fascinated. And I'm like, I don't want her to not be on the show anymore. Do you know what I'm saying? If Mary and Brittany were on the show anymore, I'd be totally okay with it. I think if Meredith wasn't on the show anymore, I'd be okay with it too. But Lisa, she's an iconic housewife for a reason. I could even stand without Angie. Like, I'm over the shtick. Like, she's very contrived. Heather, the same, very contrived. I don't know that I'd want Whitney to leave, and I don't know that I would want Lisa to leave. I don't know that I would want Bronwyn to leave. I don't know if I believe a lot of the things that come out of Bronwyn's mouth anymore. I have to take myself to task for believing anything that any of these people say on any of these fucking franchises that, again, I watch once a week. Anyway, a viewer tweeted that Mary was right about Meredith not sticking up for Lisa on the yacht trip. And Meredith said, listen, I just couldn't speak up on the lawsuit because I didn't know anything about it. She thinks we bought that, but
I'm about done with Meredith because, like, at least Lisa Barlow occasionally has a hot mic moment where she calls her best friend a whore and that reveals that she slept with half of New York City. Meredith, like, is just so, everything relies on semantics. Like, at some point she even says to Heather's like, you haven't said one honest thing tonight. And she's like, well, it's day. So,
yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, everything is so just like, not that, but this. Great. That's not the point of the question. Sorry, Meredith. I guess you have a legal degree, but you're a DJ now. You don't need to read the legal briefs to support your friend if that's what you believe in. And also, you could say, I don't believe in her innocence in all of these cases. She's my friend, and I'm also unclear on what like, you could say something as opposed to like, I'm a lawyer and I didn't read the brief, so I don't comment.
Right.
It's like, I don't,
Right.
Okay, then congratulations, get off my TV.
So Lisa sticks up for Meredith and says, listen, we're good friends. Mary says, oh, now you are? And Lisa's like, yeah. And Mary says, even though you said she sleeps with half of New York, basically Greek chorusing every single person that watches this fucking show.
Yes. And thank God Andy was there to parrot that later.
Exactly. So like Andy and the castmates on that stage, their faces say it all. They are into the fact that Mary said this, as were we all. And Lisa goes off, I'm motherfucking sick of people bringing that up. I'm frustrated, or however you say it.
You say it how it's spelled, you idiot. It's frustrated. What do you mean you don't know how to say that word? It's not complicated. You know how to say from, like, it's not that hard. I'm frustrated with her not being able to say frustrated. It's not that hard. Anyways.
So Meredith and Lisa both say, oh my God, that was 4 years ago. We've moved on. Why hasn't everyone else? Because my best friend didn't say on national television that I am a garbage whore with a family that poses that's fucked half of New York. Garbage whore with a family that poses that fucked half of New York. Did she also say something about the houses? Did she also say something alluding to like money and not living somewhere? I don't remember because I couldn't get over garbage whore who fucked half of New York.
Any one of those would have been enough. Thank God Andy is like, basically he's like, it was so dramatic in the moment that even all these years later, every time I see the two of you together, I can't not think about that moment in time and still wonder how you ever got past it. He says it permeates my thoughts. And I think everyone was like, same, dude. And then Meredith again switches the topic of like, well, I let go of that grudge and you all call me a grudge holder. And I'm like, nobody's talking about grudge holding. We're asking how you got past, but we're not going to answer that question. Now we're moving on to how you're a grudge holder. And I just wrote, what are we doing here? What are we talking about? It's so frustrating.
It's so frustrating, or however you say that. Yeah, it doesn't work like that, Meredith. You cannot square peg into a round hole with this one.
But she does it for everything.
Their coping skills, like I was talking about mine earlier, they are too uncomfortable with the fact that I'm projecting. If I'm Lisa, I'm like, I cannot fucking believe I said she is a garbage whore with a family that poses who fucked half of New York. I can't believe I have to live with that. And if I'm Meredith, I'm thinking, I can't believe that this person who claims to love me said that I have a family that poses. I'm a garbage whore that fucked half of New York. Like, can you imagine having to like look at each other and reconcile those things? So instead, it's easier for them to say, well, we've moved on. We've moved on. Yeah, it's not. You haven't moved on.
And
You're
also,
coping.
none of the rest of us have. This is the problem with being on our TV show, is that we all saw that too. And nobody who saw that moment has moved past it. Yes, it's been 5 years. And if anyone says garbage whores fucked half of New York, I think of no other moment in time and no other people than the two of you and that closed bathroom door and Lisa Barlow's voice. And knowing that Meredith knew she was telling the truth. You know what I mean?
I do. I'll never forget what Lisa was wearing when she said it, or not wearing, which was a shirt.
Taking off. She was trying to take off her mic.
A bralette and some like lower waisted baggier jeans. Garbage whore, you fucked half of New York. Oh my God. So she says it's hypocritical. It's hypocritical that you guys expect us to not move on from this. So Andy asks Lisa, hey, were you surprised that Mary took your side? And Lisa just blinks. Mary says,
instant deer in the headlights.
Yeah, she didn't care. Lisa's all about Lisa. And then everyone on stage starts speculating. Lisa doesn't know what you're talking about, Andy. She doesn't know that you're talking about when they were on that little island during the yacht trip and this was even going down. So.
And she doesn't know. She tries to cover by saying like, I'm being thoughtful and you should be glad that I'm thoughtful. But she doesn't know what she's talking about. She doesn't know what they're talking about. Everyone's just making noise.
Mary says she's trying to help Lisa, and Lisa says she doesn't need help. Mary says Lisa is very dark, very, very dark. And I was all, okay, just fingers pointing back at you. I just, please, make it stop.
But she was right to cite that, like, Lisa, you're claiming you move on and you're all altruistic, but you live in the negative. We just saw the footage of Lisa Barlow making fun of Todd's belly and tiny dick at BravoCon 15 minutes ago. So like, you are that person.
Yeah.
Acceptance is the answer to all your problems. Be a negative, dark person. Don't tell us you're not. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, dude. Ugh.
You don't move on. You do hold grudges. You do go to the press. You are everything that everyone says you are, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I think I'm just like at my wit's end with everyone's denial, but we're about to move into a new segment of the same denials we've watched all season.
Yeah. So we go into the flight from hell package and we see footage of what led up to the flight, you know, which is Uni getting tossed in the sea, the cast commenting on what happened on the plane, all of that stuff. Andy asks Meredith and Brittany, where do you guys stand today? And they both said, like, we don't stand. It's not good. Things have not repaired. We have not moved on, basically. Brittany, again, thinking that she's,
Oh my God. This is where I was just like, fire her on the spot for this alone. We have more that comes later where I'm like, confirmed that this girl should go, but good Lord.
Yeah, she says she brought the TikTok up about Seth's alleged infidelity because she's a girl's girl.
But then she also called it shady. Like, she's just all over the place. And then it really goes to hell when she does an impression of Meredith speaking in the way that made Brittany say that Meredith appears to have seizures. And then she tries to buy it back by claiming she was triggered because her daughter used to have seizures. And then she also claims it was just a joke in poor taste. And I was like, all of this is disgusting. and she's giggling as if it's like cute and funny. And I'm just like, this is all, you're so unsympathetic. The more airtime you get, the more unsympathetic you become. Oh God.
That's what I'm saying. Like when she's that person that you know in middle school or high school and they're just like walking into their own demise, you're walking into the dumpster fire, but you're the one lighting it.
Yes, you're right. She lit the match and threw it in the dumpster and then she diving in. It's crazy.
Yeah, the whole thing about the seizure was truly,
It was it was atrocious.
it
And she
was,
really took her time acting it out. And I was like, oh, this is unforgivable. And I think I said last week even that I was wondering if Brittany was angling for like a Broadway career out of this because she does have a lovely voice. And I was like, that would be a nice, but she is officially, she's so unlikable. I just,
yeah, she's making some choices that I'm grateful that I'm not making those choices. Andy asks why nobody recorded the outburst on the phone. He has a theory. I really wanted to hear it, but Heather says she does too and tells them that Whitney told her on the break when they were eating their lunch, not spilling on their clothes, that she basically told Heather, I'm sorry, my only regret from this season is not recording that. And Heather basically says, sorry, but what kind of piece of shit person would we be to record what was happening? Like we've seen Meredith's behavior before that's been similar to this, and we were just tolerating it until we landed. And a viewer asked Heather, okay, well then why did you record Lisa Barlow freaking out about her $60,000 ring in the bathroom a few years ago, but you don't
and
want to record
delighting
this?
in it,
And
delighting in it.
Yes.
Hey, hey, viewers, can you hear this in the background? What a fucking psycho. Can you die? Oh my God, she's free. It's like, oh, Heather, you are ass.
Then Andy finally shares his speculation, which is last time someone recorded them, which was Brittany last season, Meredith flipped the fuck out in that Sprinter van. Heather tells Meredith, I understand why you were so mad at Brittany. I was on your side, but it kept escalating and escalating and escalating, and then it tipped. So then she and Meredith argue about whether or not Heather was on her side, team nobody. This is so exhausting. Reunions are exhausting, no matter the franchise.
They are. And it's just the whole point of this is being missed. And Meredith is getting her way by drawing people into fights that have nothing to do with the facts that Meredith was wasted and out of control. You know, we just keep getting away from that. And Meredith at one point even says, and God bless Andy for being right on it. Meredith was like, you know, well, there was a producer right there. Why don't you ask her? And Andy was like, she was seated in a different class than you. And she was like, oh, well, my point is I didn't shake a seat and I didn't spill wine. And I was like, oh my God. She's literally just trying everything and then just talking fast if it doesn't stick. Ugh.
Oh my God.
So frustrating.
Yeah, Heather tells Meredith, you know, it's so weird that you can recall other things with such accuracy, but there's no recollection of what happened on this plane. And Meredith tells Heather, you've screeched at me for 2 months. Heather says, fuck you. Our friendship is over from this moment on. Heather tells Meredith, I've had your back for years. Angie backs this up. Heather's pissed that basically Meredith is calling her a liar.
And Heather saying our friendship is over starting now. It just reminds me of that Al-Anon thing of don't make threats you don't intend to carry out, because it's so fucking impotent. She's like, our friendship's over starting now. Buckle up. It's going to be awful. And then you expect her to say like, you do coke. I saw you do it before the show tonight, blah, blah. Like you expect her to just lay it all out, but she doesn't. She immediately backs off, stays in conversation. This is so pointless. This is all so dumb and pointless.
So then Andy asks Brittany and Meredith if either one of them want to share their version of what happened on the plane. And then Meredith says, well, this was so annoying. I have a question first. Why would any of you who are Brittany's friends, why didn't you come to help her? Or why didn't my friends come to help me?
They all say we did.
Yeah, they all start saying
Heather,
they did.
Every time someone asks what happened on the plane, did you have a drink? She's like, well, first this. Even that, remember the very beginning of the reunion opened with her saying like, this will determine the trajectory of the whole thing. And then she just took some boring detour that I can't even remember from a week ago.
Yeah.
This is just her MO, is to like be asked a direct question and redirect,
Mm.
like the lawyer, DJ, jewelry designer she is.
Caviar maven.
Podcaster, whatever.
Bath bomb creator.
Mm-hmm.
So Meredith shares her version of events, and she claims that everything really went down like in the last hour of the flight. Brittany says that the shit hit the fan during this descent. She came back from the bathroom to find wine had spilled on her seat. Meredith denies having any direct contact with Brittany on that flight, says when Lisa was asleep, I did need to use the back of Brittany's chair for leverage to get up to go to the bathroom because of my sprained toe, but she didn't get aggressive with how she handled Brittany's seat back. And Andy asks her, did you have a drink before you get on the plane? It's a yes or no question. And you can see like her castmates like, what's she going to say? Because we know she did. We know we all had a glass of
They're all nodding. They're all
Right.
nodding yes.
Yeah. Meredith again says, let's backtrack for a moment. And then she tells us the backstory of why she has a fractured relationship with Brittany. It has to do with bigotry. So basically what happened is there is a man that goes by the name of Hunter Allen. He owns a nail salon in Salt Lake City. I believe the name of the salon used to be Hunty Nail Bar, but now it goes by Pink Bubble or something because of what happened and the blowback he received. An unrelated party posted a picture on Instagram celebrating Hanukkah. And this man who owned the nail salon, this nail salon owner, and he's also a nail artist himself, he said, ew. And someone's like, what do you mean, ew? And he's like, well, you're Jewish. And the guy's like, what do you mean by that? And he said, well, Jews are all pedophiles who escape persecution by fleeing to Israel. And that is an abhorrent, disgusting thing to fucking say. It's anti-Semitism at its worst.
Unequivocally fucking gross and
terrible,
awful.
terrible. So the person who Hunter had DM'd, this man who had posted a picture of him celebrating Hanukkah, he posted the receipts, the screenshots, fucking everything. So those are making the rounds. This nail salon and this Hunter Allen person are being talked about on the news, written about in articles. It's a big deal in Salt Lake City. So it was in the Salt Lake City zeitgeist that this had happened, this anti-Semitic business owner. And so people started responding on his Google reviews and his Yelps by writing reviews about what a piece of shit he is.
Well, he reached out to Brittany saying, hey, I did Meredith Mark's nails. I'd love to do your nails for free. And she said,
Right.
sure.
In exchange for a post, right.
It feels like a long con. Like he did her nails for free and then called her after the fact and was like, hey, I'm getting bad reviews on Google. Do you mind putting a nice review up? I hope that Brittany didn't know about what was going on. And so she agreed to write a nice review. And then she was alerted that he's a disgusting person. And then she reached out to him and said, is this true? I'm taking down my review. And she said she never contacted him again.
Well, when people started reaching out to Brittany because she did have the review and didn't take it down right away, she said, I only saw the one thing. Was there more? There doesn't have to be more.
Absolutely not. So
she waited
she's
3
terrible.
weeks to take this review down. She's a piece of shit. As someone as chronically online as these housewives are, because they are, we all are, you know?
I'm not.
That's true. You're not. The person who was on the other end of this man's anti-Semitic comment, he posted in Reddit over a year ago. Yeah, it was Hanukkah 2024 is when he posted it. And then that's when it started happening. So this has been going on for over a year. This is what Brittany and Meredith have been sitting on for over a year, or that they had gone through together for over a year now.
Meredith claims that she took a producer and sat them down and said, America won't understand why I'm so upset with Brittany. Here's why.
I can absolutely see producers not wanting to touch this on camera. I can absolutely see them like, no, we're not going to do this. We'll go places we're not going to go here. Which it would have been very powerful for Meredith to talk about this.
Yeah, it's a third rail, and you're probably right. What a bummer. How sad.
She finally took it down, but yeah, Meredith was resentful. They hadn't dealt with it yet, and then they had to start working together on that RV trip. And Meredith is like, people are not going to understand why I'm so mad at her right now. They're not going to understand my seething resentment at this person that is complicit in someone's disgusting anti-Semitism.
Yeah, and she's right. Like she started crying saying this man was in her home. And
He was
like
in her home.
that's a pretty violating, disgusting feeling. Like what's so weird here is I completely validate everything Meredith is saying and feeling, all of it. The question was, did you have a drink before getting on a plane? And basically she said there's a bigot in Salt Lake City and Brittany supported him.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, yeah, so now the focus is clearly going to be on the bigot and on Brittany.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and rightly so.
Her admitting to having a drink before the plane ride would not have any bearing on how awful that story was
No,
or negate any of the reasons why she had to be upset at Brittany and the situation.
absolutely. She's absolutely right to be upset with Brittany. Brittany's compliance is disgusting and hurtful.
So, yeah, Brittany walks off in she uses childish language. I'm not saying she's being childish. I just mean that she takes on, like it's something in her, either by choice or by habit. She reverts into a childlike persona and, like, I'm not a victim. Fuck you guys. And just like the way her manner, everything is very childish and very immature and not like a grown up standing in their strength and power. And it was uncomfortable for me to watch.
Yeah.
But if it's working for Brittany, it's working for Brittany. And I don't know, man. So, and that's where we leave off. There's one episode left.
What else did you watch this week?
I am still watching Gossip Girl. I'm heading towards I think I'm 3/4 of the way through season 5. So I've got like, I don't know, 25 episodes left, maybe. Oh, that sounds like a whole lot. I can't quit it. Can't quit that Chuck Bass. I finished The Beast in Me, which was really good on Netflix. Thriller, psychological thriller. Watched some basketball, watched some Laker games. Potomac, Beverly Hills. Oh, Beverly Hills. Wow, Amanda, I am so grateful. There, but for the grace of God go I, in that I don't just show my whole lying, grifting ass for everyone who watches Bravo to see and be real arrogant while doing it. I couldn't be a housewife, Margie. I couldn't be a housewife.
God, no, certainly not a Beverly Hills one. Yeah.
Although, Bravo, if you ever do a housewife psychonauts, hit me up, dude. Yes, I'll do that. I'll do that housewife show.
That would be amazing.
That's never going to go. That's never going to go.
I mean, all of the housewives could use it. You could
The real
guide them,
psychonauts of the Bay Area.
or you could guide the existing housewives through
I can
some
do it.
consciousness expanding exercises.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if they're up to it. Watched some old Roni, I think season 2 of Roni, and rewatching Summer House with Josh.
Oh,
We're about to hit the when Luke comes, Luke and Hannah. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're
Oh
about
my
to start season
God.
4. Mm-hmm.
How did Josh take the news about Amanda and Kyle based on where he is in the Summer House trajectory?
He was glad,
Okay.
like he doesn't understand it. Every time we sit down to watch Summer House and Kyle's, we just look at each other like, how the fuck is this guy such a douche? And guys like Kyle are my husband's least favorite type of dude. Josh does not do well with a personality like Kyle at all. No. Yeah, I think he was happy. He was glad to hear it. Yeah, that's it. How about you, friend?
I watched a ton of football. We're winding down to the end of football season. The last college game of the year was this week, and it was great and so emotional. And again, sports is the original reality TV. So it was Indiana University versus Miami. The Indiana quarterback and everyone on that team, they've never won a national championship. The Indiana quarterback was refused as a walk-on at Miami, went to Indiana with a bunch of other riffraff kids who were not chosen for any other big school. And the fucking Bad News Bears won the game, and it was hard fought. Miami showed up. They were incredible. It was a great game. But the quarterback for Indiana at the end was reduced to tears. He's like, it's just a full circle moment. Miami wouldn't take me as a walk-on and I'm in their house beating them. And like, it's just their kids, and it's so emotional and it's such an underdog story. And it was really great. And then, yeah, professional football is peaking right now with playoff games, so I watched a bunch of that. And then I finally I didn't get caught up on Potomac, but I watched the most recent episode where they were in Kemosabe and Aspen and Mauricio showed up. I was like, what show am I watching? But it was great. Vanderpump Rules, again, I'm really enjoying it. It's so micro. That age, this city, and that's all that matters to these people. And there's something comforting about that. And yeah, I watched Southern Charm, I watched Beverly Hills, and I think that's it. And what was your antidepressant this week?
My one and only dear darling son is in his last few days of being a single digit age. And I am having a profound experience being his mom. I started crying around December and it's not stopping and I love it. And it's also heartbreaking and it's what I want, obviously. And it's also just like, oh my God, you're leaving little kiddom. So just being present with him as he approaches his 10th birthday is an antidepressant. It's full of life. It's painful parts of it, but it's also beautiful. So that's why I'm categorizing it as that. And then getting to do medicine at all is amazing. Getting to do it with my life partner and husband, getting to share this special, life-changing, transformative, spiritual experience with someone, having this shared experience with someone, the shared profound experience with. What the fuck? Did I win the lottery? Like, is this really my life? This is what I get? Wow. So I am just blown away. More in love with my husband than ever and more grateful and appreciative than ever that I get this special thing. It's very precious. So, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. How about you, friend?
You know, in 12 Step Rooms, in the promises, it mentions no matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. And at a meeting at the end of last year, I ran into someone who I've known for quite some time and have never seen in the rooms. And this person has shown up new because of a very intense personal trauma that has befallen this person. And I have experience with such a thing. I've talked about my experience with this on stage and stuff. So it's comedy to me. I'm so far removed from it. But at the time, I have a deep connection to how painful and devastating it was. And so I've been able to talk with this person quite a bit and check in with them as they navigate their way through, you know, betrayal and heartbreak and all that stuff. And I'm really seeing that no matter how far down the scale I have gone, I can see how my experience can benefit others. Because I did illegal shit when I was in the throes of what people now call betrayal trauma. But I just was crazy because I was in love with someone who left in a really dramatic and confusing way. And this person is going through something deeply similar. And I'm grateful that I can approach being of service to them with sensitivity and a sense of humor and stuff that, like, you know, I don't know. Anyways, that's maybe it.
You'll see how your experience can benefit others. That's so amazing when you can be a refuge and a haven to someone on the other side of it. That's powerful. It's profound. It's everything. It's human connection.
Yeah.
Speaking of human connection, I have to go to Portland next week. My mom's having surgery and I'm flying up to help take care of her and be with her. And so I don't think I'll be able to record next week. I don't think I'll be able to. I'm going to be with my mom. And as much as I don't like to take time off, yeah.
Yeah, no, we talked about this. It's a first things first. And like, it is so clear what is first here. And that is your safe travels to be with your mom and your mom's emergence from surgery and whatever care she needs or wants from you after the fact. So, yeah, that is for sure is priority number one.
Yeah. So I don't know if we will be here next week with another episode rounding out the Salt Lake City reunion, but yeah. So just in case you don't see an episode from us next week, that's why, because I'm going to go up to Portland, take care of my mommy. and be with my sister. I think I'm kind of like in denial that this is happening. And also I don't know what to do beforehand. Like there's nothing any of us can do, but just, she's getting her nest ready for when she's done. And I'm glad I get to return the favor. My mom has taken care of me after multiple surgeries now, and now I get to do the same thing for her. So I'm very grateful for that. Don't like it.
No,
Don't like it.
It's uncomfortable, but
I'm
everybody is
uncomfortable.
doing everything right.
Yep,
You are
that's
just
exactly
doing
right.
what's in front of you, doing the next right thing, which is for you to get up there, for her to follow whatever her prep instructions are, and then take it from there. But
Yeah.
that doesn't alleviate, for me at least, it doesn't alleviate anxiety, uncertainty, like all the things that
Yeah.
make me want to go to that island we talked about at the beginning of the
dude.
episode.
Yeah. All right. Well, friend, yeah, this was an uncomfortable episode to watch. It was an uncomfortable episode to talk about. It was a lot of unchecked, toxic coping skills. It's a reason why these seasons are as long as they are. You can take it. And by the time the reunion's done, you're like, okay, bye. I'll see you next year.
Yes.
And then we forget. And then we're cut to the reunion next year for season 7. We're like, okay, bye. But it was a great season while it was on. It was great.
Yeah.
So I raise a sprayed or non-sprayed cheese wheel to these Salt Lake City women. Thank you for the last 3 or 4 months of entertainment. Go with God. Thank you for showing me what I don't want to do. Thank you for showing me why I need to stay in therapy.
Amen.
Oh, all right, everyone. Take care of yourselves. For real. Just give yourself praise for one thing you did today that you're proud of. Or even if you're not proud of it, like, you know what? I did do that. I did show up for myself when I drank that glass of water. I did show up for myself when I did that 1 load of laundry. I didn't do 5. I did 1, and that's okay. I did the 1. I fed myself. Good. I was kind to my family. Good. I let that person who cut me off go. Whatever. Protect your peace in any way you need to do it. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. Everybody, take good care of yourselves, and we will talk in a week or 2.
Yeah. I love you, friend. We'll
Love you
talk
too.
soon. All
Okay.
right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Ramona and Margie are obviously not doctors and do not provide medical advice. Their content is intended to be used for entertainment purposes only. It is not intended to be, should not be interpreted as, or used as a substitute for medical advice or a diagnosis of any health or fitness problem, condition, or disease, nor a recommendation for a specific test, doctor, care provider, procedure, treatment plan, product, or course of action.
My mom isn't a doctor.